Well, today's gonna be a long one, guys and gals. I hope there's some gals watching. So buckle up, let's get started. Here I've got I think it was like a 19-pound choice brisket. Like $2.25 a pound. It's pretty cheap. So I want to see if I can make something out of it. As you can see, we don't have much marbling, but we got a lot of fat. So we're gonna have to get to trimming. We're gonna turn her over on the back and start. We got this flappy meat, kind of like on the rib. We don't need it. And yes, I threw it in the garbage. Like I said last time, I'm not saving this stuff. Then we're going to try to get this fat trimmed off. A good tip, get that brisket nice and cold before you start trimming. It makes that fat come off a lot easier. And a good sharp knife, it helps too. What I'm trying to do, I'm trying to get it down to 1/4 inch. What you see right here, shoot, that's almost an inch. So we're just going to trim away. And there's only one way to figure out where that 1/4 inch fat is. And that, my friend, is to cut too much. Just like this. Don't worry about it. It ain't going to hurt nothing. So let's get her trimmed up a little more. Yep, there I went again. Maybe my knife's too sharp. Well, let's get her flipped over. See what she looks like. This here, that's what we call hard fat. It's not going to render. So let's get it out of there. You just take a knife, slice the majority of it off here. You can stick your fingers back behind it and find a seam. Now just cut that seam out, pull a little bit. Let's try to get it all. And this is the meat processor having a bad Monday. If this was a comp brisket, probably wouldn't be too happy. But man, I only gave 50 bucks for it. So I'll just cut it off. Nope, there was a piece up front too. So we're gonna get back to trimming. I told you it's gonna be long. This over here, I wanted to cook this brisket minimum trimming, but that's a lot of fat. We're gonna get rid of it. So this is gonna be kind of a semi-backyard, semi-comp trim. In a comp, I don't separate my point and my flat, but I will get a lot of this fat out. It just helps the brisket lay a little flatter, more even cooked. So once I get all that out, we're gonna see if she's gonna lay flat. I think that'll work. So now I'm just gonna trim some more, round off the edges, get any meat off that's might just burn up in the cook. And I think that's about it. Let's see, we got the silver skin. We're gonna take a little off. I'm not gonna worry too much about it because I'm gonna cook this thing for 20 hours. And there we have it. I'm done. Let's get on to the seasoning process. Now I'm gonna use a few friends' rubs here. Hold on. I'm not done yet. This is come on, fella. They've seen all the trimming they want to see. Okay. Now, now we're done. We're gonna start off with some Mississippi grit. It's a good all-purpose seasoning. Plus, Mr. Mark, he's a good fella. We're gonna hit it with a light dose. Nothing heavy because I'm gonna add a couple more rubs to this. Then we're coming back with some Mojo beef. Now, Mr. J, he's like the poster child of awesomeness. So, let's hit it with a little Mojo rub. It's gonna give you some of the smokiness, a little beefiness add in. Now I want to start building the bark. Mr. Benny made this rub from La Barbecua. Hope I didn't butcher that. Cow Whisperer. It's a nice little coarse rub. It's going to add texture to that bark. So once we get a light coat of that, we're going to pull out Mr. Malcolm Reed's TX. Why TX? That dude's got like 1 million followers on YouTube. Why not TX? Hey, if you know him, tell him Mojo said hi. Okay, we got this on. And I think we're going to inject this because if you noticed, there wasn't much marbling in this. And I want to add all the moisture I can because this is going to be a long drawn out cook. This might save us in the long run. So what I've got here is some LC Barbecue Angry Bull. We used it at a comp last week. Me and the wife really liked it. So mix it up per the instructions on the bag. I just mix with water, no beef broth. And we get to injecting. I try to go about every inch just with a little squirt. This gets messy. We ain't gonna lie. It'll get on your camera It'll get on everything. See? There you go. So, filler full. It's gonna blow it up, make it look good. Here in a second, I might even put my eye out. But I'm okay, guys. No worries here. And this is where I was disappointed. I figured out my camera only records for 28 minutes. All you missed was me seasoning the other side. Just repeat the process. Same thing I used on the back side. So let's get her on the grill. We're gonna run on the pellet. The reason I'm running on the pellet, because it's a long cook and I want to sleep. So get her laid on there and scrunch her up real tight. That's gonna help maybe have a little thicker slice at the end. And we're gonna run at 200 degrees through this whole cook. Running hickory. This here is 4 hours in. And the only reason I'm checking it, because I want to put a probe in it. I'm gonna set that probe for 165, because that's where we're gonna wrap it. So find the thickest part of your brisket. I'm having a little trouble deciding where I want to put it. Stick it in there, close the lid. Hey, just forget about it if you want to. But I am going to come back at 8 hours. Just look at it. That bark's starting to form. It's going to be a good brisket. And here we have it. 16 hours later at the butt crack of dawn. Look at that bark. It looks magnificent. And to save that bark, we're going to wrap in butcher paper. Butcher paper, it just helps. It speeds up the cook a little bit, but you don't get the steam which will wash off your bark. We're going to poke on it, give it the snort test, and I'm going to wrap. Now don't laugh at me. I'm not a professional butcher paper wrapper. As you can tell, I've still got the dadgum barcode stuck on it, but I'm too lazy to take it off. So, let's get that edge under there. Come on, boy. Come on. Come on. Let's pull her back and get her good and snug. You want this paper on there as tight as you can. Fold over the edges. Crease them down. Get the other side the same. And we're gonna you gotta use the elbow to hold it down. That's some good butcher paper. Fold her over and everything goes astray here. Just get her lined back up and keep folding her over. I'm just keep saying folding over because I'm just wasting time, I guess. And I've got too much butcher paper, no problem. Let's just fold that back and we'll stick it under it. And I'm just going to be quiet for a second because I've run out of stuff to say. Now, we're ready. She's good and snug. She's ready to go on. Typical Mojo fashion, rub, rub, rub. Play a little drum. Play a little more drum. Back on the smoker. Now we're still at 200 degrees. I don't know how long this is going to take. I just wanted to see if 200 degrees was better than 300 degrees or 250 degrees. So we're going to put her back on. And my little tip I've showed a few times. Get you something sharp. Okay, first rub on that butcher paper like a sexy thing. Alright, get you something sharp. Poke a hole in that paper. That way, if you do push your probe in and it hangs paper, it won't push it in the meat. Not that we care at home. Judge kind of frowns on it. I'm going to set it for 200 degrees. Now, I've been called on out on a podcast about my face. That was my face shot. We're good for the next 6 months or so. So, we're waiting for 200 degrees. We're going to start checking for tenderness. Mine wasn't done at 200 degrees. So, we went a little further. And what you want, a toothpick, a thermopen, you want it to go in, you want it to feel like peanut butter. Not real butter because it could be hot butter, cold butter. Anyway, peanut butter. I took this from a 208. Now all we got to do is wait a little longer and let her rest. What we use, we're going to use the poor man's Cambro. Get these babies on Amazon, and eventually I may put a link down below. You can just get one there. They work great for resting ribs, briskets. You can even put your butt in it. The pig butt, not anyway. Later in, since I want to eat this, I'm not going to put the lid on. We're going to leave it a little cracked. About an hour later, it's time to slice. And it's getting close to the end of the video, which y'all probably proud of that. And we unwrap, and here you go. Everything just got dark in this video. Maybe it'll lighten up. Hey, looks like some good bark to me. Now on your brisket, you got the point and you got the flat. Flat, grains running one way, point the other. So I'm just going to cut it in half and start the slicing process. Okay, here we go. Well, yeah, I forgot that reveal shot. Looks like we're going to have a little smoke ring. And man, when you're pushing your brisket, I don't know why I did it. The moisture comes from the fat. You're going to have a little moisture. Alright, so it's time to slice. Get the grain orientation right, because it is possible to miscut, and it can happen at the worst times. Maybe like a contest. I just heard a guy do it one time. So we're going to get a few slices here. We're going to pick her up where you can see it. Let's see if that pellet grill put a smoke ring on something. Well, let's see. Can't complain about that. That's a good one. Which a smoke ring can also come from rub, so you can fake it or you can make it. Now we're going to check with the bend test. And I slice about number 2 pencil. Sounds good, but if you ever cook one that's too tender, cut them thick. If too tough, cut them, cut them a little thin. Anyway, pulled apart great. Tasted great. I'm telling you, it's good. The moisture, when you got moisture in the flat, you've done something good. So we're going to finish this half piece. We're going to get the money. And that's your point. That's where your burn ends come from. That's where all that fat was. We're not going to cut them in burn ends. We're going to slice them, pull it off, try it back. Because we're going to keep this leftovers. We're going to make tacos. We're going to make, hey, I even had a brisket dog. If you've never tried one of those, get you a hot dog bun. Put you a piece of that point on there. Pretty good. Well, it's got moisture. It's got color. We've got everything you need. We've got the beef flavor. We've got the salts. We've got the peppers. We've got the, whoo, that was good. Everything you need. Now, I know I've just fumbled through this whole thing, but that's what you do when you got a 12-minute video. Anyway, make you one of these. You know, if you like what we're doing here, just reach over here to this side of the screen right over here and subscribe. Man, I'd really appreciate that. Hit that notification bell. These things get better. I'm out.